Hi Pisces, welcome to your August 2017 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. That one came out for another sign. I see this one, which I am going to pick. This is a general focus, so anything goes. If something is very pronounced, like it's really about one subject over another, I might focus on that. Okay, well, first of all, there really is a strong sense of leaving a situation, travel, leaving a situation. We have the Eight of Cups, we have the Six of Swords, those are the two biggies, and then the Two of Wands can often be some kind of decision on whether or not you want to travel. So I think overall what's holding you back is a sense of not being clear on what it is that you want. However, the overall card is the Magician, and this is feeling self-empowered. Perhaps you have maybe you're working on yourself in some way and you're learning about the law of attraction or similar spiritual teachings that actually help you materially, help you in the world. And that's the thing about that people have to understand. It's funny, if you've watched The Secret, which I think a lot of people got involved with the law of attraction because of that, and I believe that I did too. Some people might have been put off because it seemed very materialistic. Look, all the things you can buy. And I think that is a problem in the sense that it kind of distorts the message, right? So the law of attraction is about much more than that, because even if you can attract a Maserati, is that going to bring you eternal bliss? You know, there's a limit to what you can enjoy materially. So there's the spiritual and the material. And a lot of people who gravitate towards the law of attraction, I'm sure they want more than just financial security. Because even like when I do private readings, a lot of people want situations with love, you know, and that kind of blows my mind, to be honest with you, because I would think it would be more with the money and the career and stuff like that, and it's not. And the law of attraction can work with people too, but it's about working on yourself, and also about being more independent and not dependent. Remember, the Magician is number one. And I've been pulling this card several times, and I wanted people to know. See the 8? It's really the infinity symbol, but you know, August is an eight month, so maybe that's why I'm picking it so much. So, yeah, very interesting. And then we have in the past position, which is one of the travel cards I'm talking about, but this is debating it. Should I stay? Should I go? I'm holding the world in my hands. I have the world as my oyster, but I'm not sure I want to make this radical change. Even if it's not that radical, it's still change. Someone pointed out to me that there's another hand on one of the wands, and I keep promising I'm going to look up what that means, because I do think I read that one place, and I think it has to do with that the decision involves more than just you, and that's why you're on the fence. If it was just you, you might be perfectly willing to make that change. So for some people, it could be, you know, they have to think of their children, or they want to pursue something new, but they're married and their partner doesn't want to leave, or something like that. And this is actually bringing a state of anxiety, because either you just can't make the decision or you're afraid to. Yeah, I guess you could say anybody who is on the fence, they have some fear lurking around within them. And you feel like your hands are tied. You know, it's funny, I'm thinking more of the Eight of Swords, but I really think these cards are almost redundant sometimes. Because the Nine of Swords, at least in the Morgan Greer deck, because it depicts the person having their hands tied. And in the Pamela Coleman, you know, Rider-Waite deck, the depiction is a woman lying up in the middle of the night with her face in her hands. So to me, that kind of is a better illustration of anxiety than than this deck, because this almost kind of is too similar to the Eight of Swords, where the person is tied, has their hands tied, and they're bound and gagged or whatever. They're just a prisoner. But however you slice it, there's that feeling of being kept in place, you know, like, but this is the thing. Notice that the Magician and the Nine of Swords are side by side. What does that mean? It means that you're in this state of unfoldment. And the old fears may be lingering, but they're going to be dissipating, because you have, the more that you practice this way of thinking, the more you will realize that there's not like this one decision that you make, and then if it doesn't work out, then your whole life is over with. It's really that life is on a continuum. And so sometimes we make good choices, sometimes we make choices that don't make any sense, and we still live to tell about it. The trick is to always be working on yourself, and then you will not go off your path. But anyway, the higher message is the King of Cups. Now, for some people, this could be a father, maybe a father who has passed, who is giving you some kind of guidance, or maybe, you know, that's all you need to do is listen, and you will get some kind of guidance from this kind of a figure. It could even be in the physical form, a clergy member, a priest, a pastor, somebody who is a counselor, who has some kind of wise counsel, who is, you know, caring and trustworthy. This could be, now this is as the higher message, so this is like, you could even like look at this as God, trusting in God. And if you look at God as your father, then that would be particularly appropriate. Some people don't, but some people do. And it's right below the Magician. So it's always going back to the spiritual. With the cups, we're looking at things from a spiritual perspective. There could be, if this is any kind of this could be a boss that a person has who is very understanding. Now, as the spiritual message, you know, I can't help, because I did get this same scenario with the King of Cups, and I think it was the Magician. It could be for some people that the anxiety has to do with wanting to go on your own, but you're afraid of hurting other people, you know, like your boss, your co-workers, letting them down. And this would be saying as a spiritual message that your boss will understand. Your boss is a caring person and will understand what you need to do for yourself. If this is a relationship issue, you may be feeling this sense of self-empowerment that you haven't felt in the past. And maybe you allowed yourself to get involved in a situation. Some of you, you may be seeing two different people. The Two of Wands could be having two people and feeling trapped, feeling like you can't make a decision. And the King of Cups, it could be the father of your child, that somehow that person, whether that's the person you choose or not, as a spiritual message, it may be suggesting that you seek counsel to decide who is the right person for you. But there is this sense of needing to move on. This is the challenge position, and find something more aligned with your soul, but you can't do it. If it's in the challenge position, you're finding it hard to do. And, you know, it might just be indecision, and it might just be temporary. But one thing about Pisces that I notice is that I think sometimes when there is indecisiveness or anxiety as expressed with the Nine of Swords, that a lot of times it has to do with unnecessary guilt. Feeling responsible for other people when you have no responsibility to them other than being a good person. I'm not talking about children, I'm talking about, or even sometimes spouses. Because we do have responsibility to certain people when we make agreements with them, but I'm talking about in general, where you take responsibility for everyone's feelings. And that is common with an empath, because when you can get inside somebody's head and heart, it's easy to empathize with them, you know, and so there's nothing wrong with being sensitive, but when it keeps your plans from unfolding, that's when it goes too far. What is coming in the near future, or your advice? I would say this is more of advice. The Seven of Cups, choose wisely. Make sure if you do have a job offer that you're not being told, you're not being given glowing descriptions of it, and that you're going to be a sucker for somebody's, you know, trying to lure you from your job, and you don't have, that whatever they're going to provide is just hype, you know, and when you get there, you find out, and maybe you even have to uproot yourself. You have no way of checking it out until you move, and then you discover that it was kind of a hype. And yeah, you know, even in that type of situation, there may have been something that even a deceptive thing on somebody else's part, that may have helped you to kind of uproot your life and you know, kind of stimulate it. So nothing is lost, even if that were the case. It's just that sometimes people, they just believe the hype, and they don't realize that they've made a bad choice based on an illusion, obviously. But I feel like a lot of you, whether it be in August or beyond, are going to choose to leave and relocate for whatever reason. This is a card of choosing peace. So, you know, if you're in a relationship or in a love triangle, you may really be in love with somebody, but you don't want to feel that pain anymore. The person could be a Gemini. I would say specifically, the other air signs are Libra and Aquarius. Aquarius sometimes too, because it's right next to Pisces. But, you know, whoever this person is, if a relationship causes angst, you know, anxiety, the Nine of Swords kind of emotions, then that's a good sign that it's really not a healthy situation. right? So right then and there, you have a yardstick to help you decide. All right, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have an awesome August. Bye.